Welcome to the Layr Show, where we bring more light everywhere through heart-to-heart conversations. I'm your host, Alysha Ellis, and we are live at the FutureLAND conference here in Cleveland, Ohio. Welcome to the Layr Show. I am your host, Alysha Ellis. I have my co-host today, The Fix. What's up, DJ?
What's going on?
Focus. How's it going?
I mean, listen, we back at it again.
Man, we're at FutureLAND live today, man. It is going down. This is day 2.
Straight lit. Listen, if you ain't here, I don't know where you at.
I don't know. You said yesterday someone sleeping on the pillow?
Yeah, just, let me know how that pillow feel.
The pillow is feeling cool. And we have 2 very special guests, man. Lisa and Nina, welcome to the Layr Show and The Fix.
Thank you so much. We are so honored to be here. You know, I have so much love, respect, admiration for you. I just met you and you rock too. So,
That's what's up.
Thank you for bringing us to the O.
Yes.
And thank you for elevating the tech community right here in Ohio.
Right here in Ohio. We're going to have to get you guys saying Cleveland. There's a distinction.
The distinction.
You know,
Cleveland.
we're like a
Somebody checked me on that.
Yeah,
they were like, we're not the O, we're Cleveland. I was like, okay.
Ohio
Sounds
is
personal to me.
Cleveland.
The CLE, like MIA, it's like we need
Facts.
to understand
CLE.
where you at. People, they need to understand you are in Cleveland.
Say less.
216.
The CLE.
All right, so our backstory on Lisa. I met Lisa in Miami, and I'm like, okay, we hit it off, and then we were planning for this
we
year.
met at a tech event in Miami.
We did, happy hour tech in Miami, and so we were planning for this year's conference. I'm like, Lisa is someone we need at the conference. I don't have many asks, as one of the planners and organizers of this thing, but I had one this year. And I'm like, okay, we got to get Lisa. She's been traveling the world. The Oprah of crypto is what I'm hearing is what they're coining.
Fancy part of Web3, the Oprah tech, they say. So.
Yeah, so share a little bit about who you are and what you both have going on.
Well, my name is Lisa Francoeur. I always lead with I'm a proud Haitian American, and revolution is encoded in my DNA. So naturally, tech, an industry that I've been in for over a decade, primarily selling enterprise software, a huge diversity champion, focusing on diversifying the ecosystem because I know that, and this is statistically proven as well, tech is one of the most lucrative industries. It's created the most millionaires of any other industry in the past 20 years. So saying that to say, I started my tech career in 2008 selling enterprise software in New York City, my hometown, Silicon Alley. And this was like the beginning of the tech ecosystem. And so I like to believe I contributed to, the architecting and engineering of Silicon Alley, New York City tech ecosystem. And then 7 years later, I got recruited to LinkedIn, where I met my best friend, first and foremost, because this is, you want to be in the trenches with. And we started our career at LinkedIn together, where we both spent the lion's share of our corporate career at.
Okay.
And I think that that's really important because, to go from the startup scene to the high tech, multi-billion-dollar entity, we were both there for the acquisition of LinkedIn when Microsoft acquired it. At the time, it was the biggest acquisition in tech history. But saying that to say, we've been in the game for many, many years. And one thing that we're super adamant about is ensuring that the folks on this stage in particular not only have a seat at the table, but can build their own tables.
That's it.
And that's why we're going to be talking about how to create your own economy in Web3.
Yes, and that's the workshop you guys are leading this afternoon here at FutureLAND.
1:00.
At 1:00, plug on FutureLAND. And what about you? So we hear a little about Lisa. What's your background story?
My name is Nina Blankenship. I'm the CEO of Crypto Tutors. We actually provide Web3 education to corporations to upskill their employees. So we have an employee portal where employees can log in and actually speak to a real human. So for example, if there is a news update and you're like, what the heck is going on? I don't understand that. You can come on in and get educated and ask questions that really are going to answer, how is this going to affect my job, my industry, my responsibilities, so that way I can do my job better. Blockchain in particular is the second most in-demand job of the future. Every single industry is using blockchain, and it's only a matter of time before you individuals start to realizing, like, wow, I'm already using blockchain technology. It's happening right now. Companies like NASA are using blockchain technology to secure their security. Tiffany and Company are using blockchain technology for loyalty rewards. So it's already happening.
Wow.
Tell us a little about you, Nina.
Nina's like, I'm straight all for it, like
Yeah.
straight business,
Well,
but
also, you know, I'm Japanese American. It's really important for people to know that. The Web3 community is inclusive of everyone. And so I've always been really passionate about diversity. And I think Lisa and I just naturally connected about that. You know, we share similar missions and values. So yeah.
That's
awesome.
amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. So, you know, a lot of people are skeptical about the whole crypto and blockchain thing. What's one misconception you guys can debunk about crypto and
Oh,
blockchain?
we have so many.
Go
You
ahead.
know,
Have you, Mike?
when we first started in crypto and in Web3, we thought, oh, you had to be rich, you had to have prior trading experience, you had to be, you know, a qualified investor, and none of that is true. You know, you can start off with as little as like $5. You don't need to have a
Not that this is investment advice.
but you know, it's possible. Like the barriers to entry is so much lower than traditional finance.
Wow.
But I'd also add that I think it's really important that you don't necessarily need to be technical. And, you know, as far as even employment opportunities, when we think about lines of business, when we think about finance, marketing, sales, et cetera, all those roles exist within the blockchain ecosystem. And so with that understanding, I hope it inspires more people to want to understand, to want to learn where there may be a place for them. Because when we think about industries of expansion, when we think about where the workforce and how to future-proof yourself, we're talking about emerging technology. And if you can calibrate yourself to an industry that is growing, if you can calibrate yourself skill-wise to the skills that are in demand, that in and of itself is going to ensure that you're not expendable. You're starting to see a lot of, you know, companies lay people off, and you're starting to see in automation also eliminating jobs. But not to say that, and this is an important takeaway, AI, and we're not going to really dive into that, but AI is not necessarily going to replace you. It's the people that know how to use it. And that also applies to understanding the nuances and intricacies of blockchain technology. And the last thing I'll say is that when we talk about Web3, which is really our discipline, our domain of expertise, it encompasses blockchain technology. Blockchain technology, just for the folks out there, is just a distributed network of computers. And that distributed network of computers are validating the legitimacy of information. And by virtue of validating the legitimacy of this information in a decentralized way, these computers that are calculating, you know, mathematical equations, they operate on a consensus mechanism. So even though they're not working together, they're like independent entities, they're still arriving at the same answer. And that is how there's a consensus to ensure that the information is accurate. And so that high level is why blockchain is such a revolutionary concept. But in addition to blockchain, you also have NFTs, which we're going to be talking about in relation to creating your own economy. You have the metaverse, which is the virtual world. You also have digital currencies. A lot of conversation about crypto, but cryptocurrency is only one facet, and certainly the most popularized as to how blockchain technology is being, you know, rolled out to the masses.
So for a beginner, what's the first thing they need to educate
run us
themselves
back.
on? Like, yeah, because I feel like you said a lot, but
Yeah.
for somebody just getting into it, what's the first thing you would tell them to do or educate themselves on if they would really want to invest into this?
Do you like money?
Come on now, come on. Who don't like shmoney?
How, right? So your data, your
Okay.
personable identifiable information is one of the most valuable commodities that you never heard of, right? And so if you look at a platform, I don't know if I should name any social media platforms, they take your information, they take your location data, they take how you're engaging on the platform, what you like, what you comment on. They take a variety of different data points, and then they use that information to sell to advertisers to help better target. It's like precision targeting. And so the level of personalization associated with these ads has had the most successful conversion rates. This has the highest conversion rates, meaning that they get you to buy. So with this third iteration of the internet, one of the biggest differences is that you get to own your data. And that means you get to monetize. So instead of being sold to, you're going to get paid for your eyeballs to see something.
That's Web3.
That's Web3.
Ownership,
that-
IP.
So you don't have to go on Google Ads and stuff like that no more. Is that what you're saying?
But the point is that understanding how you're not the product, right?
Gotcha.
You're not what's being sold. You are creating your own economy by being able to use your data
Okay.
as a means of unlocking revenue streams. And that is one of the biggest incentives to want to understand, in my opinion.
Yeah, and it's a game changer. And one thing I want to, you said it future proof. Like, that is it. And also is very revolutionary, like you both mentioned, and casting the vision of FutureLAND and being future proof. I want to make that connection. But in this space, I mean, you both are women. You're minority women, or what they deem us to be minority women.
It's true.
What has that experience been like in this space? Because obviously we support each other. I've been following what you're doing, and you're all over. However, I know there's a lot that's gone into this to get you to where you're at now. So can you both share a little bit about your journey navigating as women and minority ethnic women in that space?
I would say that, Lisa and I, the reason why we're here today and we've made it is because we like to say we defy all odds.
You saw what you did right there? Defy. Decentralized
Kind of like
finance.
the
Around you
Kool-Aid
trying to drop
man
them
and being able to
gonna rap
break
some
through all barriers. And that's something that you have to do in order to be a successful founder. Like, no matter how many no's that you get, which we as women probably get 10 times more no's than other people. We always never give up. And if somebody says no, it's like we're talking to the wrong person and we need to talk to somebody else or do something differently. So we've had to pivot so much in our business.
3 years?
Yeah, this is our 3rd year. We've been profitable since our 1st year. And as you know, many companies, they don't even make it past the 1st year and never, also as well, many companies are not profitable until their 5th year. So I think that Lisa and I, we work really good together because we are so different. I'm operational guru. She's relationship guru, has really great relationships with people as well. But we were also top sales at LinkedIn in North America. We are
World.
And we are both perfectionists, and being average is not good enough for us. Yeah. So yes, we've had so many no's, but yeah, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that I'm unapologetically blackity black, and I'm unapologetically Haitian American, and I'm unapologetically who I am. And I say that to say, I think the superpower that each of us possesses is that authenticity, and because of the fact that I've had to fight to exist, so to speak. We're in an industry, tech, finance, white male dominated. And so I think that when I pull from my ancestry, like I mentioned, I'm being Haitian, that is so significant because my people disrupted and dismantled the transatlantic slave trade. And I always say that because when you think about what it means to be a revolutionary, to know that that's in my bloodline,
Right.
It's sort of par for the course that I'm in disruptive industries. It's par for the course that I'm disrupting the way that business is conducted. Because another thing I'll add is, when you look at businesses, women, underrepresented communities, you're getting less than 2% of the venture capital.
Yep.
And so with that, and being in business for 3 years and owning 100% of our company, we've had to find ways, like she was saying, to maneuver in spite of the odds being against us. And I think that resilience and that tenacity comes from always being underestimated and always having to make a way where there is none and not being afraid to blaze a trail.
It's amazing.
That is powerful. I want to salute y'all too as well because
Right.
y'all two bosses in
Drop
your
the mic
own,
here.
and for you guys to be able to come together and work together. Can y'all speak to that dynamic? Because I've seen a lot of ladies try to do joint ventures together and it goes bad.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, we don't always agree on things.
We have a third co-founder. He can mediate when he needs to.
Okay.
But one thing is that we have so much love and respect for one another. At LinkedIn, where I personally believe they hire the best of the best people there. I was able to see her in action, not just speaking to executives. She's always been an advocate there. At LinkedIn, Lisa had something called Fancy-Fied Fridays, where you would leave at the end of Friday and you're kind of like TGIF, I can't wait for this day to be over with. And you would go into the speakeasy on in the Empire State
Alysha,
Building.
you know what's up.
Yeah, on Fifth Avenue. And people would go in there and they would talk about a challenge, a personal share, and how they're going to overcome that challenge. And by the end of it, everybody was able to chip in and give their advice about how to overcome that challenge. You ended up leaving feeling so uplifted. Wow. She was able to change so many people's lives. From the instant that I met her, I knew that she was going to be a superstar. So when you really believe in somebody, it's only a matter of time.
That's so beautiful.
If I could really add, because I know we're probably running out on time, but like, above and beyond, we love each other, and we were best friends for years before we decided to go into business. And I think having that rapport, having that foundation, allowed us to build a business on rock and not sand. And we're not like, in competition with each other.
Right.
We play to each other's strengths and we, bolster each other's, weaknesses. And where I'm excellent, like we have different strengths. And as a result of that, like we've been able to do some incredible things together.
Yeah, it's so amazing. And I want to make sure before we wrap, you have many names around town. So
all of my
I heard you spit a little something.
Bars.
So like drop some bars for us.
Okay.
Yeah, we want it.
Because we edutain.
We want it all.
You edutains. You want to hear the NFTs one?
I want to hear your favorite one.
Okay, well, this one I wrote, and like we write and produce our own crypto, our own Web3 rap. And, I remember like, this was what, maybe 2021, 2022, it was like NFTs were all the rage. And I was like telling her, I'm like, yo, we got to do a song about this. And she was like, she's operational. She's doing all kinds of other shit. So she was like, just write it then. And I was like, what? You don't think I can write it? And then, I'm very competitive, but I compete with myself. So saying that to say, I'm about to, and I'm going to talk about this in the session. So NFTs be royalties in perpetuity. Because artists get paid off that market that be secondary. Hey. And to think that revolution kicked off with them crypto kitties blows my mind. But it is what it is, and it be what it be. When we talking NFT, we talking IP, power lies and maintaining, controlling custody.
Let's go.
Fortified by blockchain technology. Yo, what we talking about? We talking about sovereignty. If you never heard of non-fungible, here's some game. 1 for 1 is only one unique token on the chain. Run it back around the block, doing laps, special ops, smart contracts to dApps. Now I'm going off.
Drop the mic on that. Lisa, always with the fire. Always with the fire. Listen, I love to wrap the end of the episodes with a pure message. So the Layr show is about more light. How do we share a pure message for our generation? You guys are doing that each and every day. What's your pure message for entrepreneurs out here trying to get involved in crypto or just being entrepreneurial? Like, what's your pure message or positive message that you would like to share with them?
I would just say ask, believe, achieve, and receive.
Yes.
I would say get it. Going back to the concept of authenticity, I have a whole mental modality around what I call authentic intelligence, the new AI. And the premise is that each of us has a unique value proposition. And so with that unique value proposition, as unique as your genetic makeup, I invite you to explore that, crystallize what that value proposition is, and unapologetically step into spaces and places owning it. And from there, I think is the best place to create.
I love it. Thank you both for blessing the show.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a.
We love you.
Oh, we love you.
Welcome I've been
Cleveland.
On. Can we
Welcome
real quick? I don't know you, but you cool. But you, on the other hand, like we've been rocking, we've been rolling, and I have such appreciation, gratitude, and admiration for what you've done.
You.
The CLE is lit, and for us to be here, it is like a dream come true.
Thank you.
So thank you.
All right, y'all. We'll be right back with a commercial break. Thank you.
The Layr podcast is brought to you by Breakthrough Sounds, a recording studio and media company located in Valley View, Ohio. Your creativity creates here. Schedule a tour today at btsoundscle.com.
Welcome back to the Layr show. Again, I'm your co-host today, Alysha Ellis, and my good friend DJ Focus. How you feeling?
Listen, we at FutureLAND. We all the way up. You know how I'm feeling.
And Layr, and we got a special guest, Smallz. What is going on?
What's going on, everybody?
Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. How you feeling today?
Man, I'm feeling great. I'm at FutureLAND, the future of the land.
Absolutely.
So just connecting and taking it all in. And,
definitely.
Yeah, enjoying and learning.
Absolutely. Why don't you go ahead and share a little about yourself with the audience?
Well, my name is Ed. Everybody calls me Smallz or Ducky Givens. I'm in the apparel business, lifestyle business. A native of Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Been here for 42 years. I'm gonna just throw it out there.
Throw it out
Throw my
there.
age out there,
Come on
but yeah, I have an apparel brand called Layr Official that was established in 2017 and is starting to grow locally as well as on a global scale. We're getting recognized by a lot of the who's who, but more importantly, we are making our bones and developing culture here in Cleveland, which is very important to me and to our whole company in regards just to providing where we come from a brand that people can resonate with and feel proud about outside of Cleveland. And it definitely has a story behind it and a meaning behind it and depth behind the brand that we build every day, just creating culture. Layr, besides it sounding cool and sounding dope, Layr comes from a real space and an emotion where we feel like everybody has their own layer when it comes to expressing yourself through your aesthetic, naturally, which is fashion, but also how you layer through life and the different layers that you have to go through and navigate through and that you've experienced. So it's the culmination and the combination of all these different ideas and ideologies that make the brand.
And it's hot.
Yeah, it is hot.
It's hot. It's everywhere. I mean, you see LeBron James in it.
Yeah.
I had Crazy Bone on my show at Breakthrough. Craig was in it.
And sending more prayers out to Crazy Bone and wishing him speedy recovery. We know he's doing better, but
absolutely,
he still has a fight and to get better.
The whole world's praying for him.
I'm a St. Clair native as well, so that was definitely something that we were all concerned about and still concerned. So prayers up and well wishes to one of the guys that paved the way. Really, for those guys, it wouldn't be these FutureLANDs and these things they created and set, blazed the trailway for Cleveland in music and shine light and eyes on the city for everything. So
absolutely.
Yeah,
we're celebrating 50 years of hip hop. So
absolutely.
We know Bone Thugs, the whole family was a part of
speaking
history.
Speaking of the 50 years, shout out to my boy Steph Floss, who's with Hennessy. They had a big activation that we were happy to be a part of for the 50 years. We did a collab T-shirt with him and Hennessy celebrating 50 years, and music is near and dear to me as well.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, that meant a lot. Yeah.
So talk about that, man. Just take us back a little bit through the journey, because you brought up hip hop, and we know hip hop has always been cultivating, and not only the music, but come on, what's the latest fashion? What's the latest sneakers, apparel? When was that moment when you knew you wanted to do this and get into the apparel business? What caught your eye?
I tell people my whole life.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, fashion was just like a catalyst for me and inspired me at an early age. Fashion and music. You put those two things together, growing up watching Rap City, seeing what the artists were wearing. You like the song, next thing you know, you see the visual and you see what they wear, and that's that gives you a lot of just inspiration, and it just alters your mind, like, oh, this is dope. So that kind of sparked a lot of just everything.
So talk about Cleveland for you. I mean, the group you're with, and just the people who's coming with Rich Paul, yourself, LeBron, others.
I got to plug Rich Paul.
New book just dropped.
Yeah, well, no, it drops Tuesday, but you can pre-order right now on Amazon, and it's a book really everybody from Cleveland should feel like it's their book as well, because it's telling a story that a lot of us can relate to in one way or another. But this is particular to Rich's journey, which I'm blessed to be a big part of that. And just telling the story of perseverance and fight and just, going for it and coming from a place where, these resources and a lot of things aren't, available, especially back, when we were coming up, and just fighting and networking and implementing a lot of things that FutureLAND is here giving to the people now. But, things that we had to go through that weren't accessible, and you see where he's at now. But the book really just goes into before the hype and before the level, what it took to get there, and the setbacks, the down, all the bad stuff that you probably wouldn't think or even know about. It's called Lucky Me for a reason. It's an amazing read. Like I said, it's on Amazon. We're actually starting the book tour today. He's in Toronto. We'll be in New York all week. All the major shows, not quite this show, but
We're gonna get him on one day.
I'm about to say,
Absolutely.
hopefully he come on back through the land.
Yeah.
No. So we'll be in Cleveland on Wednesday at Tri-C with Justin, with the mayor.
With the mayor,
So
yeah.
please come by.
It's gonna be dope.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So talk about that Cleveland grit. I mean, one thing that is stating on this and what the mayor just talked about in his talk was about seeing the representation.
Yeah.
There was no Rich Pauls, right? There was no Justin Bibbs, no Smallz. So now, no LeBron. So now we're seeing that, and I think it's so electrifying.
Yeah.
And then displaying it on a big stage like Public Square and Public Playhouse Square here now, and seeing it, it's like
iconic Playhouse Square.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's amazing, and I think people from Cleveland really need to get behind these type of things that, like you said, didn't exist for, definitely for my generation. I'm sure you guys might be close or not too far behind.
Yeah, me and you in the same generation.
Yeah,
I'm from East Cleveland, so I know.
Yeah, so you really have to celebrate this and take advantage and use all the networking opportunities, all the knowledge, and leverage it. Connect with people. I've connected with people today that I've just met that I saw that were inspiring and maybe can help me with my business to this day, and vice versa. So, get out here and get active. This is
get out
amazing.
and get active, 100%. So we love to wrap with the Smallz Layr show a pure message. So you're walking in purpose. I mean, you're so creative, what you're doing, and you're connecting with so many other creators in the city to create different spaces for us. What drives you, and what's that pure message that you can share with the audience, a positive message?
Ooh, that's a lot, but what drives me every day is just having a purpose. I'd like to do something that I'm passionate about. So even if it, doesn't necessarily give me that financial return or, superficial returns or things of that nature, I'm working towards something that I feel good about. So if the money isn't there right now, I know I'm working towards a goal that I really believe in. So that's what drives me every day. And then once you really put the work in and really do the real work, not the fake work or the Instagram post work, but you grind hard every day and put the real work in, you're going to see some advancements. Trust me. It might not be a skyrocket to, the promised land, but every day you will build, and gradually you'll look around and you'll see like, wow, it's
happening.
Like now I'm here, and it'll inspire you to keep going. And then I always like our mantra for Layr is never no more. And that's just our way of saying no to negative energy. So you'll see that on a lot of our apparel. And I just say admit that stuff and, implement the stuff you want to do more of and exit the stuff that means good. And you can follow Layr, the brand, on Instagram, Layr Official, website, layrofficial.com, and just be on the lookout for a lot of cool stuff. We got a lot of cool collaborations coming up. A lot of stuff, more fashion shows, more energy activations for the city and abroad. We got some cool stuff coming up for Art Basel.
Oh, dope.
So before that, we have a collab. I'll just let people know we're doing a collab with with Exhibition.
Okay.
I'm sure everybody's familiar with the boutique. We're doing that in November. And then for Art Basel, we have something coming with Unknown. So we're branching out, but still keeping it, home base. So just be on the lookout.
We appreciate you, man, joining the show and just all that you're doing for the city of Cleveland, putting on, and taking the time out to be at FutureLAND, because it's people like you that we need to be coming back and be a part of the mix and helping bring those ideas of what we want the city to look like in the future. So thank you so much for joining us.
No, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, we'll be right back with a commercial break. Thank you. What's up, everyone? It's Alysha here, and I'm one of the founders of FutureLAND. Our mission is to transform Cleveland's innovation and tech ecosystem to be more inclusive and supportive of diverse founders and entrepreneurs. Together, we're building Cleveland's future. So check us out at FutureLandCLE.com. For the future, for the culture, for the land. Welcome back to the Smallz Layr show, man, and the fix. What is going on? Focus.
It's a whole situation up in here. If they ain't at FutureLAND, y'all slipping. I pray that y'all get down here before it's over. But if you don't, and before you see this, you missed it.
You missed it. FutureLAND, and we got a special guest all the way from Philly. Will,
yes.
What's up?
Yo, I'm blessed up. I'm glad to be here.
Man, thank you for coming. How you feeling today?
I feel good. I have no complaints. This is my first time in the land.
First time in the land.
Y'all treated me good.
Welcome.
I'm glad to be here.
Why don't you go ahead and share a little bit with the audience about who you are and kind of what you do?
Yeah, in short, my name is Will Toms. I am entrepreneur, Forbes 30 Under 30 winner, author, but my real passion above all else is really helping creatives and artists build businesses around their art. Right. I believe deeply in us as creators being able to build equity. Right. So I've been working on all sorts of tools to empower creators to do that. The main one is with my company, Rec. Rec is a social club, online and offline social club that essentially connects creatives to millions of dollars of creative tools and spaces, as well as other artists, and most importantly, paid gigs to be able to build their business.
Man, it's amazing. I met Will and his business partner down in Miami. You guys, you know, I've been spending some time in down there. I love Miami. That's like my second home right now.
Mine too.
I met them in Miami in April at a conference. And I was like, man, what you guys are doing is like what we've been trying to build here in Cleveland. And like I feel like a lot of cities across the country, urban areas, are trying to create these creative experiences for us by us. And so you being in Philly, and then you guys are launching in Miami, which was what
Rec
we were
Miami
talking
coming
about.
soon.
And I'm excited to be a member.
Let's go.
Of Rec and just being in a creative house. I'm gonna spend more time down in Miami too. So I'm like, you know what? I gotta get on. I gotta get put on. So why Miami?
Yeah, so for us, right, we built the business originally in Philly, right? And Rec Philly has been incredibly impactful to our city, right? We've had the privilege to be able to pay out millions of dollars into the pockets of our members. We've been able to really see folks grow in a beautiful way. So for us, we had to take a step back and say, we didn't just solve a Philly problem, right? Like you mentioned, there's cities across the country and across the world who have that same challenge of where is the infrastructure, right? For us to be able to grow what we're doing. So when I think about cities that are like Philly in the sense of tons of culture, tons of creativity, but low infrastructure, right? For the business, Miami was one of those cities, right? So we said, yo, let's check out Miami. Let's get to know the folks there and see if there's a real need. And then also, as we were fundraising to support our expansion, our lead investor, who is Sean Diddy Combs,
The one and only.
right? AKA Puff, right? Depending
AKA
on
Love.
AKA Love, depending on when you got introduced,
You got a
right?
couple more.
But when he heard about our model, he was really excited to work with us and help us grow. And he also was like, yo, Miami though,
That's
right?
it.
So it was already on our radar, but he was like, yo, let's make this happen. And it just made sense.
Man, that's so dope.
That is so dope. So, you know, when you first started to form and begin with Rec, what were some of the struggles that you encountered before you met Puffy and got the money behind you?
Plenty of struggles, right? There's a lot of struggles at the beginning. It's a lot of struggles now, right? To be honest with you. But in the beginning, I'd say the main struggle was one, building something that had never existed before and trying to communicate to people that there was a whole different way that we could do business, right? So for example, what I mean by that is musicians, for example, a lot of us, we grew up our whole entire lives thinking that the win was to get signed, right? The win was to get someone else to put you on. But for me, you know, I saw the future was in the independent grind, right? We all got access to these iPhones, can go direct to consumer to people. So one of our trademark slogans at Rec is independent doesn't mean alone.
Oh, that's good.
Right? And
That's
from a
good.
city like Philly, a lot of folks, unfortunately, we get conditioned to have that scarcity mindset. So the idea of saying, oh, well, I'm going to share the same studios as somebody else. I'm sharing resources with somebody else instead of going like this and being like, it's mine. We had to really break that mindset before we could introduce a new product, right? So I think being able to have the fortitude to build something that didn't exist and also help people understand it along the way, I think that was one of the early challenges. But fortunately, we've been able to overcome that, and we're serving over 1,000 creatives currently, right?
Say that. We struggle with that same mindset here.
Yes.
In the city of Cleveland. It's the grit. It's the bottom of the barrel.
I'm out here by myself, you know, just me.
Get it by any means necessary. You know, some of that those slogans that we hear, the mantras, and it has been so harmful, but we're seeing those things get broken off.
Good.
And I think like creators like you who are like, no, this is a way we can collaborate.
Yeah, 1 + 1 is 3. You know,
right?
And again, I do want to be clear. Like, I don't fault anyone for like get it by any means, because it's like you got to do that.
You have to get it.
But that's like the survival tactics.
Yeah.
But those same things we learn to survive are not the same skill sets that are going to help us thrive.
Yeah.
Right. So we have to unlearn that stuff as we try to grow beyond that.
Absolutely. So what's that creator's experience being at the studio with you guys? I mean, I've seen videos. I love what you all do.
Yeah.
So talk about that creative experience.
Sure. Look, I'll say this. When people walk into Rec Philly, one of the things that I'm most proud of is when they walk through the doors, they look around and they go, Will, the fact that this space exists, I can reimagine what's possible for myself.
Wow. That's good.
Right? And that's so important because it's like nowhere else in our lives usually do we have a space that not only has what we need, but we know it was intentionally built for us, right? As creators, we know we could turn anything into what we need it to be, but to walk in and you see there's 14 private studios, from recording studios to podcasts, design, co-working space, there's just nothing like it, you know, in at least our city and around the country. But the energy, though, right? To be met in that space with love, like, it's just so important. It's hard to really describe, but if you ask our members, I think they could probably tell you even better than I could.
I'll be able to tell y'all soon, too.
You know what I'm saying?
Right?
Yeah. That's what I was about to ask. So what does one have to do to become a member of the REC?
So we have a really simple application process. You know, in the beginning, it was like anyone could sign up, but once we built such a beautiful community, we were like, whoa, we need to protect it, right? So there's a very simple application process, and we're not here judging people's art for application. We're really judging, like, what's your spirit like, though, right? Like, are you serious about what you do, and are you just not a jerk, right?
Right, that part.
You know what I'm saying? If you're the kind of person who come in here like, oh, I'm just trying to get what's for me and get out of here, if you don't understand community, right, then you're probably not the best fit for us. But it's a simple application, and then once you get in, literally we're talking millions of dollars of equipment and all that for $100 a month, right? And it's a simple process. So we take cohorts kind of at a time, so it's always rolling, and then you can apply. But then once you want to inside, you know, tons of educational opportunities from panels and workshops, you know, all the networking, but then also that job board to really help folks get paid to do what they do.
And we're seeing that. We're seeing a crave for community more now than ever.
We lonelier than ever these days.
We're most connected as ever, but we're the most loneliest generation. And I think that for us as creators, I love to, a lot of people who know me in the city, I love to create with other creators. That's what I love to do. Like, I put on this show. That's all I was like, I hit up him like 2 weeks ago, like, hey, what about a joint collab on the podcast? He was like, I'm down, say less.
That's love.
And so for me, I always believe there's strength in numbers.
That's right.
You know, and especially when you're like-minded, like spirit. I knew that, you know, folks was come prayed up with me.
Let's
so
go.
We're not just coming in a FutureLAND just to take over. We come in here with an intention on spreading
and
that
to
light.
add value.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. And I think for creators, we're seeing how we can stick out more now than ever than blend in. And we're accepting that more into our identity versus like, oh, no, I just need to blend. Like, no, I'm meant to stand out.
That's right.
And so creating that safe space.
That's right.
For vulnerability and love, like
That's
that.
Right. And we take it a step further at REC. Like we say, REC is not just a safe space. REC is a brave space.
Ooh.
Right? Like it's not just that it's okay however you show up. It's almost like when you're in the space, it challenges you to be your fullest self.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Need that.
And nothing less than that. So yeah, that brave space and that safe space energy is so important.
It's critical.
Right.
Are there any specific projects y'all work on in REC? Like what can we, like, is there anything like, you know, that's coming out of it? Like collaboration, this project is coming?
There's so many I could point to. Okay. You know, right now, BPHL is a festival that REC is producing in partnership with IBX, you know, big corporation out of Philly. They challenged us to build an innovation summit out in Philadelphia. So we got, you know, folks like Timbaland coming through to talk about creative entrepreneurship and, you know, putting on a lot of artists from the city as well in that experience. So that's one. Also going to have a presence down at Art Basel this year. We're going to be doing some hard hat tours of the new REC Miami space, which is dope. But literally, when I tell you, like, our programming calendar we're doing probably somewhere around 20 events a month in the city.
That's
right?
awesome.
We're bringing, you know, music engineers who are the day-to-day guy for Lil Uzi Vert, did Just Wanna Rock. He's coming to REC just to break down his mixing strategies and the plugins he uses, right? Like, there's just a wide variety of what's happening. But yeah, I could just roll them off for you, but I don't want to keep all day, every day. That's
what's happening is so critical, and like what we're even bringing with FutureLAND, like advocating to have people like you come to Cleveland.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to hear these stories because we also need to expand our own thinking.
That's right.
How do we cast a vision? So I don't know about you, but I hear a REC CLE coming.
Yo, what's up with it?
In the future. Because
what's up with it?
I'm with it. Like, yeah, sign me up.
That sounds
and my whole vibe, I'm going to say this, like, as we expand, like, my whole strategy is, like, I'm not going to nobody's city like, I'm the creative guy. Like, what?
Well, we won't let you come in Cleveland like that.
Because if someone did that, nah, I'm not going to do it again. Nah, I'm not going to do it again. But anyway. But I know that same thing, you know, if someone did that in Philly. So for me, it's like, yo, folks are already here doing the work. Right.
Yes.
I know that to be true.
How do you get the resources to them?
Let's just bring the model and the resources so that way y'all can help co-create what the city deserves.
We at the gate. We letting you in.
Let's go.
We letting you in.
We
So
ready
let's
too.
go.
We are ready. We are ready.
ready.
So
I
I love
love to
to
hear
wrap with the show on a pure message. So the
Yeah.
Moss Layr platform is all about a pure message for our generation.
Yeah.
You're sharing that with Rec Philly and now
Yeah.
in Miami and everywhere you're talking and speaking. What's
Yeah.
that pure message for you that you can offer to the audience?
Can I give 2?
You can give whatever
All right.
you like.
I'm gonna give 2 quick ones. The first one is the first tattoo I ever got in my life. It says, "He who says he can and he who says he can't are both correct." And I think it's just so important to understand that power of belief.
Yes.
Right? If you don't think you could get it done, you can't. But you also have to remember that everything around us in the world was built by someone no smarter than we are. Right? And they try to trick us out of knowing that.
Yeah.
The second one is, I alluded to it earlier, is independent doesn't mean alone. This idea that like we could just get so much more done when we're in alignment with others, right? God says when 2 or more are gathered,
That's
you
it
feel me?
now.
But I think it's just so deeply important for us, especially folks that look like us, to lean into that and say,
Yeah.
yo, collaboration is really the key, because the cap is that someone's self-made, right? That's actually not
No.
true, right? We're all made by our community. So as soon as we embrace that, the further we can go.
Yeah, I love it. Well, welcome to Cleveland.
He dropped some gems today.
Let's go.
All the
Straight fire.
gems.
I
Welcome to
appreciate
Cleveland.
y'all.
Welcome to the Moss Layr Show and the Fix. We're
Let's
blessed to
go.
have you here. Thank you for sharing the stage with us and enjoy FutureLAND.
I shall. Look, I'm ready to get on this stage in here, and share some more with the people. But then somebody got to show me around tonight. I got to see the
we're
city.
gonna show you the city.
Less.
We're gonna show.
Say
How
less.
can people get a hold of you? Check out the website, all that good stuff.
Please do. You guys can get in touch with me. I'm on all the social medias at the Will Toms, THE Will. Last name is TOMS. And then also follow Rec Philly. And then our website is joinrec.com. joinrec.com.
That's it. Well, we'll be right back. Well, again, we're at FutureLAND Live with the Moss Layr Show and the Fix.
Yes, sir.
We'll be back. Thank you. Thank you for tuning into the Moss Layr Show. You can follow us on all social media at Moss Layr. That's MASLARAE. You can also check out our website for more behind the scenes content at mosslayr.com.